Darkest greetings, horror, sci-fi, and alien fans. Drew here, with another long-awaited Ramble On, the episode where we do not edit and we literally just ramble on. And this is kind of a weird one because this was completely last minute. Because Eric Jackson and Emma were gonna do a movie called Happiness for a stream horror, but Emma had some stuff going on in her personal life. So they ended up canceling that. And then Jackson
Yeah.
was like, hey, we haven't done a Ramble On in
Postponed.
a while. We haven't done
Postponed.
any episodes in
Yeah.
a while. Let's do another Ramble On. And
Well, I mean, it's
Alien.
traditionally after we get done doing a string of Marvel movies, we're supposed to do a ramble on.
Yeah, like
It's
that,
like
like
a it's like a catharsis. It's a release from all the from
Yeah.
all
So
the
we're gonna
Marvel.
spend another 3 hours like wrapping up the MCU.
And I heard in Secret Wars that they're finally gonna introduce. So I love that commercial when you go to the theater and they do the Deadpool and Wolverine did the turn off your phone bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then I love the part when like Wolverine gets up to the screen. He's like, "Hey, Bob, you're in a movie theater, not the jerk off room in your mom's basement.
Right.
Turn off your phone. I'm gonna shove it so far up your." And then Deadpool comes in and interrupts him. Is like,
Oh,
"Whoa, whoa,
gosh.
whoa, whoa! Oh, testosterone. You know, when you yell at that, it makes me feel funny in my dick. At least I think it's my dick. I'm like, Wade, I feel your pain.
Oh my goodness. Hugh Jackman again, just selling it for
Oh,
a
yeah.
stupid thing.
A
But-
stupid bit, a
Yeah.
one-off commercial. Yeah,
Yeah, I think as far as like his best Wolverine performances, I think it's a tie with Logan. Honestly, because it's just two opposite sides of the screen.
I don't know. I would say Logan's better, but
Yeah, that's
he's
fair.
given it his all in Deadpool Wolverine.
That's the thing. He gives it his all every time out of the gate, no matter what character he's playing. I mean, go watch Kate and Leopold. Dude is
That's
giving
true.
it his all in that movie. And a lot of people hate it, but I kind of love it.
Right.
Because
He's the best part of that
dude
movie.
is just commanding the screen in this stupid time travel romance, you know?
I think that was that the first thing? Did that come out before X-Men? Was that after?
No,
It was right after. It was right after.
Okay. I think I
Like-
saw that before X-Men for some reason.
okay.
I think I saw Kate Leopold first. And I was like, this guy's pretty good. He's probably
Right.
gonna go somewhere.
I'm just mad that I didn't get to go to New York and see him in The Music Man.
Oh yeah.
I just have to settle for the soundtrack. Hopefully they filmed it and it'll get released on like Amazon or something one of these days.
Dude, my
That is the
favorite
hope.
Hugh Jackman thing ever is when he was on Jay Leno promoting the first Wolverine solo movie, and he does like the whole beginning number of Music Man.
Oh, from Music Man? I used to be able to do that same number when I was a kid. I can't do it anymore.
But you're not as sexy as Hugh Jackman, so
No,
not the same.
And I was even
you're
less
pretty
sexy as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty sexy, but you're not like Hugh Jackman level of sexy.
But I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, and I used to listen to that soundtrack over and over and over
That's
again.
awesome.
And I learned that whole opening number, like all the parts. And I can't do it anymore, unfortunately. It's been too long. But
Dude, that's amazing. So while we're here today, we're gonna review another Fox property that's owned by Disney now. Oh, Disney. And that is the newly released movie in the Alien franchise, directed by Evil Dead reboot, whatever you want to call it, director, and Don't Breathe director, Fede Alvarez. It's going to be Alien Romulus. And if you watch my out of theater review with my mom, you know I got a funny story tied to this. And I'll get to that in a few moments, because I'm going to go around the room and ask you guys what you thought about the movie overall. Eric, what do you think about the movie?
So I saw it like just last night, so it's pretty fresh on my mind. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a great like theater experience. I didn't quite love it. I think the movie almost probably could have been called Alien Greatest Hits versus Romulus, but
That's true.
it kind of mixes and matches a bunch of the entire franchise, like a little bit from every place, and pushes them all into like one movie. There's some fun stuff they do in here, but it's
never maybe like Alien 3. I didn't really know anything. But I didn't like Alien 3. Dude, I was on my freaking phone the entire time I was watching Alien 3. That movie was so boring.
Oh, it's not that bad. You should watch the assembly cut. The assembly cut's
That's
a
what I
little better
watched.
than the third one. You watched the assembly cut, and you
Yeah.
oh well, okay. Well, I can't do anything for you.
It is
Also,
that one
there's
is
a
a
shot.
slower paced movie
It
than
is.
some of the other ones, but I still
But
like it
needs to
'cause I
sleep.
think it's
I do
visually
too.
really cool.
Yeah,
And
it
I will say
sleep.
that yeah.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
needs to
go ahead.
sleep, slow pace. I did,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful looking movie because it's David Fincher, who
Sure.
I adore, as you
Plus
guys
that
know.
cast.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, that too. But
Charles
I think,
Dance and all those inmates.
I
Yeah.
loved him in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with he's the action star,
Last
action.
Action
Last
Hero.
Action Hero, yeah.
Mhm.
I just
Got
killed
glass
somebody
eye.
with a gun, and anybody come and
I
stop
did
me?
it on purpose.
A completely underrated John McTiernan movie from the 90s. Like Last Action Hero holds up pretty well.
But I just felt like 3 was just like a significant downgrade from 2, in my opinion. But
They also play a little homage in this movie. It's when she's in the elevator shaft and like it's creeping up on her, and she's like there, and she's like and then like the face is like right there. So I mean that's Alien 3 all day.
True.
So. But
all right, what about you, Jackson, the scene wizard? I can't call you Action Jackson anymore. Can you get offended by that?
It's not that I got offended. I just think it's cliche and boring.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
It doesn't actively offend me. Okay. Alien Romulus. Okay. I agree, yes, sort of with what Eric says, but I like this movie better than he does for a change. We do not have exactly the same viewpoint.
Yes, we agree.
Well, that's good. That's nice.
You finally agree, Jackson.
I do think, okay, yes, this movie is kind of a remix of a whole bunch of Alien things, but what I like about it is that it remixes it in such a way that it shows you things that you've never seen in an Alien movie before. Yeah. And you never knew you wanted to see in an Alien movie before. And it's super cool about it. So,
like Android with multiple personalities.
Right.
Android's best bit. Andy's the best bit in this whole movie. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Xenomorph babies.
Right. So I want to say, I kind of think this is the best one since the first one.
Dude, there's an idea.
Wow.
Xenomorph babies. Let's do it. Let's do it, Disney.
What it's just like Muppet babies, but with like
little
cuddly
Baby Looney Tunes.
little chest bursters, just running around the spaceship
Looney Tunes
nursery.
With my shit back in the day, I used to watch that all the time.
Wait,
Daffy Duck. Yeah, Daffy Duck was like a little.
How do we get on Looney Tunes? You were just talking about Muppet babies.
Don't remember those. Yeah.
I said Baby Looney Tunes or
Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toon Adventures or like Baby.
No,
Baby.
I didn't watch Tiny Toons a whole lot. I watched a lot of Baby Looney Tunes.
See, I never watched Baby Looney Tunes. I watched a lot of Tiny Toons. Like a lot of Tiny Toons.
That's the generation gap talking here. Yeah, that's what's going on here.
I do like me some
Baby Looney Tunes was not a thing when I was a kid, but Tiny Toons was.
Yeah, I did like me some Animaniacs. That's just hilarious and really dirty.
Yeah,
the fingerprints
they brought it back a few years ago. Yeah.
It's just priceless. It was the episode when they were trying to solve a mystery. And then
definitely don't remember specific episodes.
Oh my god!
Hold on, Dot to go along, find fingerprints, and then later he comes back with prints. He's like, "I found prints." No, fingerprints. And then they both look at each other, Dot and Prince, and she's like, "I don't think so."
Oh my goodness!
No, Prince was about that. He was about that. Prince is a freak, and that's why I love him.
Ramble on. Yeah, is right. Wow, we are already like super loopy, and we've been doing this for what, 10 minutes?
Not even. We would go like 7 minutes.
Well, at least we don't do for 1,682 minutes like in Rent. Because how do you measure a year and a day or whatever that is?
525,600 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. Too many numbers. Fuck numbers. Numbers suck. But anyways, let's get back on track.
Okay.
I really love this movie. And I think, it's actually, I'm not saying it's better than Aliens, but it is my second favorite Alien movie. So the original Ridley Scott and then this one. And it may just be recency bias. It may just be the fact that I went to go see it with my mom. But this was my Alien movie. That's actually generally good and gave me the
Mhm.
feel of the
Mhm.
original two Aliens. And
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
actually thought the action was way better here than in Aliens. And that's a controversial topic because James
Yeah.
Cameron is like one of the kings of action. Like up there was like George Miller, John Woo. Hell, I would say Steven Spielberg's up there
Mm.
as one of the
Yeah.
greatest action movie directors. But yeah, this was like my Alien movie. And here's the story. As you know, if you saw our out of theater review, the movie straight off because it was raining outside. The movie just straight off turn off when they're in that little
Yeah.
lab area, and like the people behind us were like cracking jokes, is like, "Oh no, the facehugger got into it." And then I remember one point at that when it stopped that time because it actually stopped twice.
Mhm.
Oh goodness.
Um, my
Wait, stop twice? Oh my god.
yes. So my mom gets up and go use the restroom, and one
Mhm.
of the guys behind me said, "Do you want to be really funny if all of a sudden they just throw up Birdemic?"
Mm.
What other movie can you say has birds spitting up acid blood?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Come on, do it,
It's a
Birdemic director.
birdemic.
God, Birdemic is a movie.
I love Birdemic.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
By
I've
the
It's
only
way,
wonderful.
watched it with the riff tracks, but
yeah,
you still get the vibe.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I just gotta say one thing before we move on. A day without sex is a day wasted.
Is that a Birdemic
Gosh.
quote?
Yeah, his friend. They're talking about like they're on the
I don't remember
basketball
that, but I
court,
believe you.
and they're talking about the
Mm.
new girl
Oh yeah,
that the
yeah.
main character met.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Birdemic.
and then the second time it stopped is when the shoot, I can't remember her name. It's the bald chick when she gets the chest burster coming out. Like
I
right,
must say
yeah,
it went off. It went off during that scene. Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
yeah,
that's because that's like one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
yeah, and then unfortunately, a facehugger jumped out of the production booth and then got somebody in the crowd.
See, if that had actually happened, it would have been worth the power going out for your screening.
Yeah,
But
we booked it out of there because fuck that shit.
mm,
Yeah, but yeah, it happened. It happened. But and then I ended up going to the bathroom. I came back. We all got passes. The movie ended up starting again. But my mom
oh,
straight up
nice.
said before that, like, if it does it again, yeah, we're just gonna go home. We'll just use your
Right.
Yeah,
pass
of
for that.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Third time's
luckily
the
we
charm.
did
Third
it
time to get out of
because
there.
I'm gonna go use my pass to go see Beetlejuice.
That's nice.
Beetlejuice. The juice is loose, baby.
Yeah,
Oh shit!
well,
I just unleashed them.
oh goodness.
I'm on the
Um,
fence about that movie. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
I just don't care.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton loves it. He said it was amazing.
Yeah, well, you know
Of
what?
course he's gonna say it's amazing. He's trying to promote it. Go
No,
watch
well,
it,
no.
please. Yeah.
Emma, I can't remember if this stayed in the Nightmare on Elm Street episode that we did, but Emma did say that he didn't care if Batgirl or Batwoman, whatever it's called, didn't see the light of day because it was a paycheck for him. But him saying that he really genuinely likes Beetlejuice, like that tells you something. So
What did he
Okay,
say about the
cool.
Flash? Yeah.
that's what I want to know.
I think he
Ugh.
liked it. I think he liked it.
Oh well, then
I
that
told
probably
y'all
tells
I
you.
recently watched that movie
God,
Mhm.
that
just
movie
for
just
funsies
dumpster
one
fire.
day, and it was not funsies. It was stupid.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah. So yeah, that is I mean, just not really like a structured episode, except for like the
Oh
story.
yeah, no, not
We're
at
just
all.
going all over the place.
Yep. So what's the part in this movie that really sticks out in your your brain, Jackson, that lives rent free right up in there?
Oh gosh, this is tough because like there's a few things that. Okay, let's get the negative out of the way. Stuff I
Mm.
don't like. Okay, we're doing spoilers.
Mm.
Just so everybody knows, we're doing spoilers. You know, if you
Sorry,
haven't seen
yeah,
the movie,
spoilers.
go listen to some
Yeah,
other
it's been out for like 2 weeks. What the hell?
But man, when Rook, aka deepfake Ian Holm, shows up, I kind of thought they were going to do it just because when he was on the floor and you didn't see his
Mhm.
face, but just looking at his haircut, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh no, they're gonna do deep fake Ian Holm, aren't they? And then they
Mm.
set him up on the table and he's sort of in shadow, and it was okay, and he had the voice and everything. But then when they start doing close-ups on him, oh, I just was squirming in my seat. I was like, please, movie, don't ruin yourself with
I
this.
think I
Yeah.
am the only film fan, or one of the few film fans ever, when that stuff almost never bothers me. The only time it ever bothered me was Dial of Destiny with the young Harrison Ford. Like, there's a part when he's talking to the Nazi dude, and his jaw line looked kind of jacked up. But
Mm. I don't know.
I
Ian
will
Holm's
say,
mouth in this movie
it's
looked real messed
very
up.
jarring. It is extremely jarring to see like an older actor, do like the DA's makeup, or a dead
Yeah.
actor.
And
And
a now
I hate
deceased actor showing back up for a movie like this.
Yeah, that's some real weird ethical questions. I mean, they did it. They've done it before. They did it
They've
with
done it before,
what's
of
his
course.
See, but
name
here's what I
in
don't like
Rogue
about it.
One.
You don't know if his family or the estate is cool with that. You don't know
Sure.
if that person would be cool with that.
But
So that
could they have
I
done
had no
something
room to
different?
judge.
Could they have done something different there? Could it have been another Andy, and then it sets up an antagonistic Andy and a good Andy? You know what I mean?
Here's
They
the
would
thought
then
I
people
had.
compare to Alien Covenant. So like there's no one running, really.
Yeah,
Here's
but
the
they
thought.
kind of borrow from every other movie, so they
Okay,
could borrow
there's
that from Covenant.
Yeah,
there's two
that's true.
things they could have done. There's two things they could have done that would have made it better. First one
Yeah.
is pretty obvious. They could have gotten Michael Fassbender. I don't
Mhm.
know if they had the budget to afford that, but they had to spend some money on doing the deep fake of Ian Holm.
That's true.
So maybe they could have
spent 80
afforded.
million. They spent $80 million on this movie. So
Okay. The other thing that I think would have been even better, Martin Freeman, because
okay,
he played young Ian Holm in The Hobbit.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Get Martin Freeman and just have him be a new, synthetic.
Yeah.
But then you have the little fun in joke of he's already, reprised a role that Ian Holm previously played. But also, he's probably not that expensive to come in and do basically an extended cameo. Right. Yeah, go get Martin Freeman. They didn't do that, so we can't really criticize.
Yeah, just go to Wakanda, Disney, and get Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Disney already has a relationship with him. They could have very easily gotten him, I'm sure. They probably didn't. Nobody even thought of it, though.
Yeah.
I did read about it. It's not exactly a deep fake. So it's part animatronic and part mouth digital replacement. So that's why the mouth looks kind of weird. That it was an animatronic, and then they went back in and touched up the eyes.
Oh, so that's why the eyes are sort of herky jerky looking, right? Because it's an animatronic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
I would have preferred it just full animatronic.
Yeah,
it looks a little too cartoony
for that kind of stuff. And like I said, it is very jarring to see an older actor play a younger version of himself with the the digital de-aging, or doing the digital stuff for that.
It just didn't work. And then later in the movie, when they leave that room and you just see him on the screen, it wasn't as distracting at that point.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It was my one real gripe against the movie. I mean, there are a couple little nitpicky things here, like just the physics of it all, and little like contrivances, but hey, every movie has those.
So how I don't even feel about Rook saying Ass's line where he is like, you have a 0% chance of winning, but I admire your bravery, or something like that.
Yeah, that was fine. I mean, the one Echo line that bothered me is when Andy says, "Get your hands off her, you bitch," or something.
Stay away from her.
This
is film class, right? So I have to quote Scream too.
Yeah, but it's just like, really, you're gonna give him a Ripley line?
It's just so cringy almost that he even says it, and it's
and he says it in a stilted way, and the rest of that guy's performance is really good. Even at the beginning of the movie, when he's being really awkward and telling the dad jokes, and you don't even know he's a synthetic yet, you just think he's this awkward guy.
That was
but
awesome.
Then he gets that one line. It's supposed to be a big line, and it just comes off really weird and awkward.
It could have been a dad joke.
Yeah,
you could have just said, "Get away from her," and I think you got the point.
Right.
And I thought that's what they were going to do, and then it just kind of like,
and
then it
says the
awkwardly
last
just like,
two words.
you bit, and I'm like, what? Well, I don't know.
But anyways,
I agree.
yeah.
With that. Yeah.
I will say if they ever decide to bring back Kang in the MCU, that'd be the best actor to get.
He'd be a good one.
Yeah, he looks
Could have just
almost
replaced
exactly
him.
like Majors.
And I
don't
haven't
even
really
care about
seen
that. I like his performance.
I haven't seen him in anything else. I know he's been in some other stuff, but
he was in. He's on a show called Industry on HBO, which is pretty good.
I don't watch a lot of shows anymore.
But I'm going back.
He was in something else.
Yeah, but going back to the computer generated Ian Helm saying Alice's famous line, it didn't bother me because I'm assuming that's like part of his programming. It's just like one of the things that he would say.
Sure. So that's not as bothersome to me.
No, yeah. Just the inclusion of him alone, I think, was probably, it was just like, especially for him playing such a big part in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, if it had been like one scene, but then he just kept being in the movie, I was like,
I loved hearing the Prometheus theme in the theater. I rewatched a lot of the Alien movies except for A versus P. But
I've never seen either of those.
The first one's pretty good.
Yeah, don't watch the second one. The second one's so bad.
But
so bad.
I kind of liked Prometheus. I think it was a really cool movie. The cinematography is gorgeous. I love the music. At the main thing, I love hearing that again when they introduced the little black liquid Venom symbiote thing.
And that was one of the things I did not think was going to come back in this movie, was that alien engineer goo that they had in those first two movies. I think its inclusion is fine. I do think that like the movie Prometheus and Covenant are both super flawed movies. But I think they're at least trying some things. This movie feels a little safe in some ways. Like it's it's not really trying to expand itself too much, which I don't necessarily mind, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it really needed to, because I think people just wanted a regular old-fashioned like alien movie.
I mean, that's what I wanted. I was just happy that another director finally gets a crack at it after all these years. I mean, the last one was what, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, not counting the AVP movies, but Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, is Ridley Scott came back, but the last new director that got to really take a crack, because that was the cool thing about the first 4 Alien movies, is they were all done by somebody different. And so you got to see somebody else's take on Alien.
Yeah, like Mission Impossible.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Mission Impossible went the route of, it's just like McQuarrie over and over again, which I'm not a complainer about, because I think McQuarrie's doing a really good job with that franchise.
I think he's doing fantastic.
Yeah. But I was excited to see somebody else come in and do something with Alien. And, like Eric's been saying, like, he doesn't really do anything new in the macro, but I think in individual sequences, he really shines, because he really ratchets up that tension, and he shows you some things you've never seen I've never seen the face huggers be the way they are in this movie. They are terrifying.
Yes, they are.
The sequence where they're having to sneak through the room, and the face huggers are just sort of like standing around, just like, and they'll just jitter every once in a while. It's so great. And then like you finally get to see somebody like really get melted by the acid blood. It's absolutely fantastic,
Yeah, you gotta love
along to you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, along to your point too, they do a lot of smaller things in this movie that sort of don't even like really come up in other Alien movies. They play with zero gravity a lot, and they play with sort of like
that was cool
heat sensory and stuff like that. And so all those things I really loved, and that weird whatever that light was that you can see internally
sort
inside of the body
type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've never seen a chest burster quite like that one. Where you actually see it moving around inside, and like,
I wish they would have hung on that for a little bit longer.
Right.
They could have. I could have watched it for. I could have watched it for another 5 minutes, just watching that alien struggle to get out of there.
Yeah, I will say it did take me on the moment, because when because they didn't back it up when they started the movie at that point, because that's where it stopped the second time.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Um,
would have ruined that whole moment if it just stopped right in the
Yeah.
middle
it
of
didn't
it.
completely ruin it, but it kind of took me out of it. Like I think
Right, sure,
that's my brain
exactly.
back too. But yeah, it was. Yeah, this movie was intense. I did love the zero gravity stuff. I thought that was so cool.
Oh
how they
man, where
did
she's
that.
having to like get through all the acid blood that's just sort of, congealed and floating in the air and everything. It's super cool. I've never seen anything like that in
Oh
an
yeah, for sure.
alien movie.
Yeah, and this watching this movie, it made me want to see like something like some sort of alien attraction or experience at Disney, at the Disney parks.
There used
Well,
to
they
be
used to
one.
basically have one.
The Ramen Chinese theater thing. Like, when there a ride with that, and like you took
Yeah,
it
but
through a bunch
like,
of movies,
but
an
the
alien
whole
was on
thing
one of there.
is themed to alien.
Oh no. So
Oh,
at Disney World at the Magic Kingdom, they used to have, and it wasn't licensed, it wasn't an official alien thing, but it basically was.
Yeah,
It was called the Alien Encounter.
yeah.
yeah, and I
And
think
you would sit
Ridley
in a
Scott had a
room,
part
and there was like an alien like in a glass case that had
Mhm.
been captured, and then
Mhm.
the power goes off and the alien escapes, and it's like running around the room, and it'll like
It's like a 4D experience where like
spit
they're
at you
breathing
and
on
like
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll bite at the back of your head and stuff like that. It was really cool,
Dude, that freaked me
but
the hell out as a
it
kid.
was too scary for the Magic Kingdom. So they got rid of it and they replaced it with a stupid one, which was the same setup, but it was Stitch instead
Cool
of the
Stitch.
scary alien. Stitch is fine, but it was not as good. It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It was just sort of stupid.
God,
And now, you know
live
what?
action.
There's nothing in that attraction house anymore. It's
Yeah.
vacant. And they
Yeah,
haven't
they
replaced
They
replaced
should
it with
bring it
Alien.
back. Should bring the alien back, like Drew was saying.
Yeah, now they
Just
have the
make it
rights
a
to it,
full-on
but
alien. Yeah.
it would not fly in the Magic Kingdom because they
I
are
think
leaning way too hard into being like kids.
Yeah. I think the best place to put it is either Hollywood Studios
It would work
or
there.
yeah. What
Yeah.
was that?
It would work in Epcot even.
Oh yeah,
But
it would probably work in Disney Springs probably.
well, they don't have things like that at Disney Springs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Disney Springs is just like dining and shopping and yeah.
Yeah, but it could be like a smaller experience maybe to see
Yeah, but
people like
see,
it.
they wouldn't put that there because Disney Springs, you don't have to pay to get into it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, they would never put an attraction like that in
Mm.
Disney Springs.
I think it'd be really cool, and maybe they have this, but I think it'd be cool to have like a jazz club at Disney Springs. You just use jazz covers of like Disney songs.
Well, they used to have a whole bunch of
Okay.
that back when it was downtown Disney. They
Mm.
had a section called Pleasure Island, which was like a
Ooh.
whole bunch of clubs. Like they had an improv comedy club. They had like a 70s disco. They had the Explorers Club, which
Mm.
was kind of like a dinner show. They had, all these little like themed clubs, but
Mm.
eventually that went by the wayside and they made it just sort of generic shopping and dining.
Yeah. Speaking of Pleasure Island, one of my favorite videos on YouTube is top 10 scariest Disney moments by this YouTuber named Animat.
Oh,
And he did the Pleasure Island scene.
oh,
as
the
one of-
donkey?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you talk about Pleasure Island, he said, it had all the amenities, gambling, drinking, but it is missing one thing. And it cuts to him going, hurry, 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 get your free hooker here. It's not called Pleasure Island for nothing,
Mhm.
Every time I see, he gets that part, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Old
good God, dude, it's
Pinocchio,
not a
they're
taxi
like-
driver.
The old Pinocchio, they're like drinking beer and smoking cigars, and then the new like
Mhm.
remake of Pinocchio, it's like get your root beer and your candy.
Yeah, God.
So stupid.
Kid food are so soft these days. Yeah, like I watched all kinds of messed up stuff. We all three did, and we turned out
Yeah.
fine.
It's true.
Well, did we? I don't know.
I don't know. I watched Alien probably too young. My like uncle showed it to me when I
Oh
was
God.
like 8. I think I was way too young to be watching it.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I first saw it. I was probably in high school or maybe even college when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, did you want to say anything else about Alien Romulus?
I really like this
Uh,
Kaylee Spaney. She's impressed me this year because I didn't know who she was. I know last year she was in Priscilla, where she played Priscilla
mhm.
Presley. But this year she had Civil War, and I thought she was really cool in that. And now she's in this, and I'm just like, I'm down for her career.
Yeah. I remember seeing her in Mayor of Easttown, and she was in something else like on TV. I can't remember.
Okay.
I haven't seen Civil War yet, but I've been looking forward to this. She's pretty good.
I like her.
I do think Andy, our android, kind of steals the show, but
He does. It's definitely
you
the
know.
more showy, challenging
Sure.
performance.
Right.
Because he's basically having to play two characters and play the sort of transition between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But I like her. I can tell why Fede Alvarez cast her though, because she's a little bit like Jane Levy, and he's made a couple movies with her. But maybe she had sort of aged out of this role a little bit.
Oh yeah. No,
like,
I imagine so.
Who's the next Jane?
And I will say that is fun about this movie is that all of our kids, they're kids. They're like 20-year-olds, and like all the other Alien movies are like 40-year-olds, like 40-year-old Marines.
Yeah, this is the
40-year-old space truckers.
Yeah, I
the
will
youngest
say
Alien
what
cast.
I liked about
they're all
this
really
movie.
good.
Yeah. I will say what I liked about this movie, unlike Prometheus or Covenant, where they got like a bunch of like the stereotypically good actors and actresses, like Sarah Lee Theron and
big names,
yeah, Michael Fassbender, yeah, him and like Billy
Idris
Crudup.
Elba and all those, yeah.
But like they went back to the original where those cast members weren't actually ugly, but they're just normal looking working class people.
Sure.
Yeah, you had like Yappa Kodo in there.
Yeah, Kodo,
Harry Dean Stanton, and
Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt.
Yeah,
just regular looking people.
I like that they got a whole cast of basically unknown actors for this, because it's like, we're not going to spend $200 million on this movie. So we don't need Idris Elba and Charlize Theron and, all these other people.
Well, this movie took me back to what it must have felt like watching Jurassic Park for the first time, where you could not tell what was a practical effect and what was CGI.
That's true too. The effects in this movie are pretty stellar really great across the board, except for I don't care for the Ian Holm bit, but
oh my god, you gotta get over that, Jackson.
All the aliens look incredible.
What?
Yeah. Alien stuff, all the alien stuff looks great. All the facehugger stuff looks amazing. Like them pulling those like proboscis things out of people's throats.
Gosh.
Oh, so gross.
I mean, I knew what the facehuggers were doing. I did not know they were that hung.
Oh yeah, way in there.
If you know your behind the scenes history of the original Alien, you know that Dane O'Bannon was pretty inspired by H.R. Geiger.
And I know H.R. Geiger was a pervert,
I like H.R. Geiger. I would never
I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I will never hang up an H.R. Geiger piece in my house that's not alien related. But I do like
even the alien related ones. Do you ever see the movie Species from the mid-90s? Another H.R. Geiger designed alien movie.
Drew, you definitely need to see the Species. That is right up your alley.
Yeah.
Just not when your mom's at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I've seen certain scenes from Species.
Okay.
The second one and third one are not great, but the first one's pulpy, kind of bad B movie fun.
And another really great cast. You've got like Alfred Molina in there, and I don't remember who else is in it.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Natasha Kinski and
young
Michelle Williams.
Natasha Henstridge.
Henstridge, that's right.
Yeah, different Natasha. Yeah.
Is it Michael
Michelle Williams plays the little girl. Michael Madsen's
I think
in the
Michael
movie.
Madsen, yeah.
Yep, and he talks about the alien deer, listening to K. Billy's supersonic sound in the 70s.
And then he gets murdered in a sex scene.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen all of Reservoir Dogs.
Really?
Really?
It's a fast hour, 40 minutes. You should watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I watched it actually a few days ago.
That's cool.
It still holds up for the most part.
Now,
there's some parts in it I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, before we get to the the final stuff and wrap this portion up.
Mhm.
What did you think about the alien birth? I'll start with you, Eric.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought I loved it. I kind of saw it coming.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of my qualms with the movie is I don't know why she injected herself with the goo. Like
I
they,
don't
they
know
made a
either.
big deal of it when she was passed out, but then why she decided at that moment, I don't know. I think I would have needed more of her like thinking she's gonna die and like
Mm,
I don't know. It was a little. It felt a little contrived that she did it. It would have made more sense that like the bad Andy would have injected her, just to
Yeah.
keep on that Ian Holmes, the Rook, sort of like for
Well,
the company sort of thing. But
so my interpretation of it was she had been through such an ordeal, she wasn't thinking clearly. And
okay,
clearly, whatever she had heard about the goo from, Rook or whatever had
mhm.
gotten in her head. Or
right.
was it Rook or Andy that was talking
Well,
about it?
see,
I can't
they
remember.
when he fully explains it, she's not even in the room. They didn't even find
Oh,
her
okay.
yet. Like I think it's whenever they pull her out and she's bleeding and then they're arguing over top of her and I don't know it felt a little contrived to me,
There
but
might have been something that got cut out. You never
probably
know with
so.
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
it would have made
Oh,
more sense if he came on the speaker in the elevator and was just like inject yourself with that,
mm,
it's gonna make
Yeah.
you better, like this is
yeah.
whatever, but
I will say I did like how they kind of made Wayland Utani, or I guess Wayland Corporation, like absolute scumbags, where they say, "Oh, you got to work this many
oh,
years
they've
in this mining
always
planet."
They've
been
been
scumbags.
scumbags since the
Yeah,
very
but they
first
really
movie.
hone in on that point in this movie.
They basically make everybody expendable except for their product, like in every movie.
Yeah, that's like every big corporation. Fuck big corporations.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
especially Wayland
that
Yutani.
is not a new innovation of this movie. That has been there for 45 years.
Yeah, but
Mhm,
I just thought especially that was in here and how it just like real
Yeah,
scummy.
I mean, it really
mhm.
hits you with that. Like right
Mhm.
at the beginning, they're just like, "Nope, we've doubled the hours you have to work.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You have
And
to
there's
work
like, what are you gonna do?
12,000 more
Yeah,
hours."
Go
because they're
to a
basically like, what
derelict
are you gonna do? You have nothing
spaceship
else you can do.
and
Right.
get
Yeah,
attacked by an alien. I would have been like, "Fuck you, bitch," and left because like this is off my contract. I always, dude, I
well,
was
that's the
always
thing.
like,
It's like, what do you? That's the problem. Is that what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You're on
she
a
literally has
planet
no
that's being
power.
terraformed. You
yeah,
can't go anywhere. You're
oh
like
yeah,
stuck.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the first half of the movie is like the strongest to me. Like all of their
mm,
setup and like getting to know all of our new characters and everything. I really loved all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. My whole thing about that is like, you scales me for this particular set of time, and
Hmm.
then you skeleton me to leave. I'm gonna leave on that time. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Except
you
you have to
can't
leave
leave
on one of their ships, and they're not going to
ships.
let you on the ship.
Yeah.
So, I
You
mean,
literally are powerless. It's
she
kind of
leaves.
it's
They just have to like find a decommissioned ship, which they
Yeah.
mhm.
happen to do.
All right.
It's a
Well,
great setup.
okay. So what was your actually before I get to your opinion on that Xenomorph Baby Jackson, I just want to say one thing. Um, I don't think this is ever okay to do this. I did like that little cat calling bit at the beginning when they're walking out of the restaurant and like the guy just yells at the main character, like, "You want a good time, baby?" or something like that. It just something about that. It just made it authentic. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
you're like in like
Oh,
these
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
working class people that work
Hmm.
hard and they want a little action, but don't catcall
Yeah.
people.
Right. And there's, some people of the night that are also out there looking for looking for that they're mates, if you will, for
Mhm.
money. So I think it really
You
sets up
mean
how like sort of
Latitudes?
uh yeah. But it really sets up sort of like what you were saying, just this sort of like scummy sort of like people are doing what they can to get
Mm,
pleasure from just being in like the harshest conditions possible, because humans, that's one of the like the theme of the movie, I think, is that humans weren't made to travel in space and go to these
mm,
places and really set up the world.
yeah. I will say that one actress, the main actress, she looked a lot like Katniss Everdeen from the movies, the Hunger Games movies.
I don't really see it.
Oh,
I don't know
I
if I see
did.
it either, but
But
she's
anyway,
young. And Jennifer Lawrence was young when she made those movies and
Sure.
had more of a roundish face,
Yeah,
Dark
that's what I'm saying.
hair. Yeah.
dark hair, yeah,
All right. Anyway,
eyes, a
Jackson.
nose, 2 ears.
Yeah. Eric, shut up. I'm asking Eric Jackson a question.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm joking. So, Jackson, Xenomorph baby, what did you think?
I mean, okay, once she injected herself, I was like, okay, this is gonna go somewhere. I
Mhm.
did not expect it to go fully where it actually goes.
Mm-hmm.
And when the little baby pops out and has the engineer head, I was like, oh, we're
Oh,
doing this
God.
again. We're doing the engineers. But then it rapidly grows up to be like engineer xenomorph monster thing. I was just like,
Slender
all
Man.
right, that's a big swing. Go for it, movie.
I will say this too, and I didn't really notice this at the time. Maggie brought it up afterwards. She was like, that was Cousin's baby. Like, it has like the similar nose to the cousin who's on the ship. Like, and they share that moment before he gets eaten. I'm pretty sure it's an incest baby to begin with. And then it gets, yeah, you know what I mean?
Huh.
I'd have to watch it again because I don't know for sure.
I don't know.
But
Yeah. Maybe.
like whenever he sneaks up on her when the aliens in the
Yeah,
cocoon
because
and they
she
share that
keeps saying,
moment.
like, don't
Some
tell
asshole.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think it's an incest baby to begin with, and then it got struck with black goo, and it becomes a more messed up like looking thing. I don't know. I loved it. It's very
Okay.
much similar to Resurrection by the end of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the whole end of like the newborn at the end of that movie, which I love too. That's my favorite part of like Resurrection is like the newborn stuff.
I really liked it. I thought it was. I think as soon as they introduced her being pregnant, I'm like, oh, something's gonna go down. It's gonna be
Right.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. It's Fede Alvarez. He's a
Right.
fucked up dude.
It's true.
But he's the nicest guy ever. It seems like he's super nice. And what was interesting was I watched this podcast or listened to this podcast called Reel Blend, like a movie reel,
Mhm.
and then blend. And it's basically a bunch of journalists, and they ask filmmakers like the unusual questions that you wouldn't really hear from regular like press interview kind of things. And it's all about filmmaking and the process of it. And Betty basically was explaining that he did the whole process of recording ADR like you would back in the 70s to kind of get that feel to it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I know that he got a bunch of the visual effects artists from 3 and Resurrection to work on this movie. Like the old houses, they've changed hands, they're new names now, but a lot of the same people that worked on those movies from the 90s also worked on this movie and some of the practical effects.
It shows. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I do favorite part and then least favorite part. Jackson.
I think you know what my least favorite part is. I've already said it a million times.
You still gotta do it.
I don't know. Okay, fine. So my favorite part, that's a little tougher to decide because I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna go favorite part. I gotta go with the sneaking through the face hugger room.
Okay.
It's incredible. It's so suspenseful and it just looks incredible. Yeah, I just loved that bit. Least favorite part, stupid recreating Ian Holm. That's stupid.
Okay. Eric?
My favorite part is all that early face hugger stuff, like all the stuff where they're in the room and they get out and then it gets on to I don't remember her name.
Really
She looks like Lev. She looks like Lev from the Last of Us video game, so we'll call her Lev for now.
Okay.
But it gets on her face and like all that stuff leading up to the cachet, like that whole sequence right there is like my favorite part of the movie.
And then let me guess, Ian Helm is your least favorite part.
No, I'll say something different. There's a elevator sequence that happens in like so many sci-fi horror movies where they have to climb up and then the elevator falls, and I feel like I've seen that sequence like so many times. I think they do enough to distinguish it with like the zero gravity and everything, but I've seen so many elevator sequences where I've seen it too many times. I wish they had done something different, which they do. They do a lot of in this movie, like the zero gravity blood and everything. I don't know, but that was
the really cool innovation of the zero gravity bit is not just that the the gravity, generator like shuts off, is that every once in a while it has to turn back on to keep the ship from like exploding or whatever. And so there's always that ticking clock whenever it shuts off. It's like, well, it has to come back on at some point. And everything's gonna come falling down.
Well,
that was a really cool twist on that.
Well, I loved how the main character came to that conclusion where Andy's telling all the dad jokes, and one of them is, I read a book about zero gravity. I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Like,
that's nice.
Zero gravity.
It's good.
I do love all his dad jokes. They're great.
Yeah.
They are great. Oh, I will say one more thing that really struck me in the moment, and it didn't really bother me too much, but it really felt out of place, is that the alien catches Rain as she's falling and doesn't like stab her. You know what I mean? Like catches her with his tail.
Yeah,
and
that
then
doesn't
like
make
brings
any
her
sense.
over. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, didn't make any sense to me at the time. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, they pass over it fast enough, but it was just kind of like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
why didn't he stab her? Yeah, but
I'm gonna go. My favorite part is the intro. Like it just made it feel like you were watching the original Alien or a movie that could have came out in the 70s. I just love that shit. And even like the little meteor rock thing that comes into the ship, like that looked real. Like that looked like that was made. That wasn't like a CGI thing, and it was just incredible.
Which is that I did have a question about that. That's like the Xenomorph from Nostromo, but like he was encased in this.
I think
offshoot from the engines, right? Because that's the one
that
it shows.
That's got to be because it shows the Nostromo like word on the the wreckage. So it's definitely the Nostromo.
That one. How it gets encased in like the carbon thing, whatever it is.
It doesn't really make sense. Yeah.
But there's no music whatsoever.
Right.
Which I love.
Not for the whole thing. At the very beginning, there isn't, but like
that's what I'm saying.
That's what he's talking about.
Music.
Yeah. And then my least favorite part is I don't have one. I absolutely adore this movie. This movie's amazing.
That's fair.
I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll probably see something itty bitty or something, but I don't know.
It's a fun theater experience, to say the least. The sound in it is wonderful.
It was for me
in theaters for just that.
It was for me.
See, I would have been mad. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have stayed
mad
for the first one. I would have went and got a refund and been like, I'm going home. I'll watch the rest of this later.
Yep. But anyway, Jackson, let's go into score. And how score works is we give it a filmmaking score out of 5, and then a thematic score out of 5. We add those up individually. We individually do it for a possible out of 10 overall score. We take that overall score, all of ours, and we put in an average calculator, and that's the official horror, sci-fi, and beyond score. So let's start with you, Jackson. What is your filmmaking score for Alien Romulus?
Filmmaking score, I think it's pretty great. I'll go a 4.5 just for raw filmmaking. There's a lot of skill on display in this movie. Yeah.
All right. 4.5. All right. So what's your thematic score?
Not nearly as high. It's like, I'll be generous and say a 3 just because, it's a lot of the same themes as the series, but they're good themes, so I like them.
Yeah, for sure. So that's your overall score will be 7.5.
Sure, sounds about right.
Bad. That's not bad. Eric?
I'll be a little more generous on filmmaking, and I'll say probably a 5 as far as like visual effects and practical effects and all that stuff goes. Great. Cinematography was wonderful. Sound design was great. Music was great. The acting's pretty good for a movie like this. 5. I'd say it's a 5.
Okay, so what about your thematic score?
Ooh, that one's not gonna be so good. This movie, other than recycling some of the themes from the other one, doesn't really have a lot new to say. I think it's probably a 1.
Really?
It's a fun ride. It's a fun ride, but it's also just a ride at the end of the day. I thought they were going to do something new with Andy, or at least try to do something with their relationship. But I feel like it didn't really, I don't know.
Well, my mom
It never
pointed
really got there for me, but
Yeah, well, my mom pointed this out where in the other Alien movies, Ripley is
Mhm.
very hesitant towards these androids because of her, especially
hmm
Bishop. Couldn't think
hmm
of his name, because the thing was ass.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
she becomes close with him by the end of it, sort of
yeah,
thing, you know.
yeah, but this one was cool where you actually see like a brother sister relationship with
That's
hmm
true.
main
Yeah.
character and an android. That was really
No, I
cool.
loved all that stuff. I loved all the stuff with Andy early on. I even liked
Mhm.
his turn whenever he switched over into like the the more amoral robot.
Yeah.
But I it didn't really do anything after that. Like they just switch him back, and it's as easy as like him getting hit by a xenomorph, and then they just turn the chip and take it out. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't, it didn't feel like they. It felt like they had a great setup for something that they were going to say about like choice or self or something like that. And they never didn't really do anything with it. I don't know,
No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
but
Um, I'm gonna say for filmmaking, I'm gonna give it a 5. Um, because I just like I said, I could not tell what was practical and what
mm,
was
hmm
CGI. And then the zero gravity stuff is really cool, and the fact that
yeah.
they made it feel like the first two films in the franchise. I'm gonna go with thematic score. I'm gonna go 4 because I
Mm,
really like that companionship and brother sister relationship between the main character and Andy.
yeah.
Yep. So that means the official horror, sci-fi, and beyond score for Alien Romulus is 7.5.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which
That's probably
was
where I
the
would put
score
it.
I gave it, so we could have just
Yeah.
saved ourselves some time.
Yep.
Sorry, everyone. You wasted 55 minutes to get to the same result.
Yeah. So I know you have to get. You said you might have to get going, Eric. It's 5 minutes
Mhm.
till 8. Do you need to leave or can you stay?
I don't know yet. Well, we can keep talking, and if I need to dip, we'll dip.
Okay. Because there's a couple of things I do want to talk about. I just
Sure.
want to talk
Okay.
about some documentaries.
Okay.
One for a trailer that just came out, a trailer that just came out for this documentary, and then one that I just watched for the first time.
Hmm.
The Christopher Reeves documentary trailer came out today.
Oh, the Superman one. Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer for it
I
yet.
Yeah, it
haven't
looks
seen that.
so good. I'm really looking forward to
Hmm.
it.
Do you know who made it?
No. Oh no, the guy
Okay.
that did the McQueen documentary about the controversial fashion designer.
Okay.
They
No, I
said
don't.
that in the
Okay.
beginning.
Hmm.
But no, it looks
Interesting.
really
Okay.
good.
Okay.
And I'm not I mean, I respect that first Donner movie.
hmm
I think it's an absolute masterpiece, and it changed everything for just about as far as like superhero movies go.
hmm
I just don't love it as much as a lot of people do. But I think Chris Reeves is an excellent Superman. Like he is Superman to a lot of people. Like Kevin Conroy
Right.
is Batman for me.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
Man, to see like to see is how kind he was to people.
Hmm.
And he wasn't like a dick to kids.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a nice he was a kind person, and he loved
Which
Yeah.
his
is
sports
right.
and hanging out with his children. And then, his son was talking about like, oh, I was playing like cricket or croquet or whatever, some sport. And that was the last time I ever played it with them. And then they get into the
Hmm.
illness. Man, your heart just breaks
Mm.
during that part, or mine did. And
hmm
then, man, there were points when they played the Kryptonite theme, the ba 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 ba, and man, that is my top 3 John Williams like scores, like pieces of
Mm.
music. Absolutely love the Planet Krypton theme. I just think
Hmm.
it's just so beautiful, and it he really takes Superman seriously
hmm
with that score.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do think the score is the best part of the
Oh,
Superman. Besides
absolutely.
Christopher
Oh, for
Reeves,
sure.
the score is like iconic at this point. I
Mhm.
mean, it's
Yeah.
you can kind of hear the score and know that it's Superman. And I really think that's
Right.
probably going to stand the test of time more than that first movie will. Which the first movie is a little cheesy, a little silly. It's got like 70s child nudity. It's weird. It's a weird
Mm.
movie.
It does have like full frontal, like little
Yeah.
boy
And it's just
nudity.
like,
Man of
oh,
Very
that's a
Steel
strange.
has
choice. Yeah.
2013 child nudity in it.
What?
Man of Steel does.
Oh,
Yeah, because
I don't remember
baby
that movie.
Superman.
Yeah,
I
but
did
this
not
isn't a
pay
baby. This is
attention.
like a 6 or 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
in
right.
this movie. It's very strange. Uh,
Such a choice. It's such a weird choice.
okay, so think about my thing with the very first Superman movie is I think the first half of that movie is awesome. I think
Mhm.
the second half of that movie is garbage.
I can see that.
Except, I mean, I think Christopher Reeve is doing a good job, and I think what's her name, Margot Kidder. I think she's really good too. But I think everything else in the second half of that movie is an absolute failure because
it's like they couldn't figure out what to do after that first half.
Oh, this
They
bird.
were just like,
it's just
With the Luther.
oh gosh. Lex Luthor would not have well, maybe he does in the comics. I don't know. But I don't feel like he would have somebody that stupid working for him.
Yeah.
Like that, like demonstrably stupid. Like he is clearly he's not even like a mediocre intelligence.
Right.
He is just straight up dumb. It's like
Yeah,
Lex
he's like
Luthor's supposed to be the
Patrick Star
smartest
dumb.
man in the world. You can't find a better henchman than this guy.
Yeah, like he's more Patrick Star dumb. He's not Phoebe from Friends dumb.
Right.
Phoebe's not really. I don't know if you guys watch
Still,
Friends, but
I've seen Friends many times.
yeah, but she's not really like dumb.
No, she's like a
She's
secret genius.
Yeah.
She just does her own thing. But yeah,
actually,
eccentric.
I don't know.
My mom, that's actually my sister's favorite character on that show, and I bought
It's my
her
favorite character on that show.
Yeah. I like Chandler. He's like my spirit animal. Like I know I'm more like Ross, but I really want to be Chandler. I think I'm Chandler, but I'm Ross. But no, I bought my sister a Funko Pop ornament of Phoebe.
Oh my goodness!
It's a really look at the car.
Everybody.
I thought it was Taylor Swift for a second, but I saw the Friends logo. I'm like, oh, that's Phoebe. Getting that for her.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really cool. Thoughts on Superman, Christopher Reeves, Donner, Eric?
Say what now?
What's your thoughts on that movie?
On the Christopher Reeves, the first Superman?
Yeah.
It's not great movie.
Oh,
it's
that's why you always
fine.
talk about it.
Yeah, but like the second one's better in my opinion. Either cut you watch of it is a better movie, and then the third one's not great, and the fourth one's absolute trash. If you've seen any of the other Superman movies.
General, I'm gonna have to ask you to step outside. Come to me, son of Kal-El, and kneel before Zod. Dude, I don't care. Terrence Stamp. I prefer Michael Shannon, but Terrence Stamp is a great General Zod. Because he plays it more
I
like
prefer Terrence Stamp Zod. Yeah.
Like the part when he's at the president's office, and then he's like, I guess like he's calling somebody like national security or something like the president is. And he's like, yeah, we got a Zod here, and then Zod to steal the phone. He's like, Zod. Like he's like disappointed that this guy doesn't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Just love that. It's so funny.
I love Terrence Stamp in that movie.
But Michael Shannon is the best Zod in my opinion.
I love Michael Shannon. I don't care for that movie, but that's
I love that movie. I didn't love it at first, but now the more I watch it, I love it because I can.
Well, maybe I just need to give it another go.
It's got moments I like in it, but the more I think about it over the years, like when I first saw it, I really liked it, and then the more I think about it over the years, it just doesn't work for me.
It's that Kevin Costner scene for me. It's that scene where he's like, "Don't come get me," and I was just at that point in the movie, I was checked out. I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that's fair.
So dumb.
But I just think for me, somebody on the spectrum and somebody trying to figure out the world with this condition, I just really related to a young Clark Kent where, he's just in class and like his X-ray business is kicking in and his superhero is kicking in and he's
that seems great.
And he just hides himself in the closet and then the mom comes and it calms him down. Like, I don't know, it just reminds me of something my mom would do and has done.
Again, that's probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Or the young Superman stuff is always so much more interesting to me than, and not the Smallville. Like Smallville's a fine TV show, but it was still like
it was
CW
good for like
TV show.
3 seasons, and then it really went off the rails.
But I always love the Smallville stuff. I always love all that stuff with like Clark learning his powers and everything.
Yeah, I really wanna hear just a little, and of course you got to do your own thing with the music, in the James Gunn version. I want to hear a little bit of the main theme or a little bit of the Krypton theme. Just a little bit of it, like a
It
hint
wouldn't
of it.
surprise me if they do it.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
think they'll
amazing.
do the whole thing. I think they'll just full on bring it back for like third act or something.
I love Planet Krypton. I love that scene. Just the first half, and then it kind of gets into
Mm-hmm.
a spot I don't
Sure.
really like. But I love that. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Man, that gets me right here, man, in the heart every single time. The other documentary I want to talk about is I finally got around to watching the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 documentary called
Mm.
Scream Queen. My
Mhm.
Nightmare on
Oh,
Elm
okay.
Street. Did you guys watch this? I know you said you watched it, Eric.
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's been a while, so
I've never seen that one. I have seen the big, like,
Never Sleep
6-hour
Again.
Yeah, that one's good. I
retrospective
love
on the
that
whole
one.
series. I've never seen this specific one though. It
Definitely
looks
watch
interesting
it.
though.
Yeah, it's generally one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Okay.
It is
Hmm.
it's so beautiful because it's so. If you don't know what this documentary is about, it's about the main actor's experience, who was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy Revenge.
Mhm.
At the time, he was a closeted gay man. The writer Dave Sepskin ended up
Yeah.
putting in a lot of gay subtext.
And then they like tried to deny it for a long while. They were just like, no, that's not it. But it's clearly
Yeah,
that.
like
Like there's a
Mark
lot of
Patton's doing
BDSM
like
stuff.
this
Yeah.
weird dance. He goes to a leather bar with I'm surprised Rob
Yeah.
Halford didn't show up.
Right.
Um,
All of
hell
those
bent
Freddy
leather.
scenes, yeah, all those Freddy scenes with him where they're like in the same are like kind of like weirdly sexually charged. It's kind of a
Yeah.
great movie. There's some parts in
So
it that I don't like, but
yeah, so
it's a
he
Freddy movie,
apparently
so
just felt really uncomfortable, and this was during the whole, like AIDS scare, and then Ronald
mhm.
Reagan, was trying to fight against the gay because it's evil,
Yeah.
and
I mean, there wasn't just a lot of like out actors back then. A lot of
yeah.
people who were
Now I'm not saying
open
I
about their
believe this
sexuality.
because
Yeah.
I don't, but a
Mhm.
lot of people believe this back then and still do today. And
Right.
then that gosh darn internet came in, and
Mhm.
then people were making fun of Mark Patton from that movie, and it
Mhm.
really the whole age scare didn't mess him up, and terrifying him like this definitely did.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, so the sources ever since all that stuff was going on, he's completely denied it.
Yeah.
Somebody that was working on the Never to Begin documentary approached them and
Mhm.
said, "Hey, we're making this documentary about the Elm Street movies, and we want you to be in it to talk about the whole gay subtext of that movie."
Mhm.
And I guess from there, he just discovered that in the gay community, like that movie became a cult hit, and now he just
Hmm.
fully embraces it. And then at the
Yeah.
end, he actually talks to the screenwriter,
Mm.
and the
Okay.
screenwriter looks completely nervous.
Oh
Oh.
yeah. 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 Because he had been denying it for so long and just like, but then he tried to own it. Like that's the weird part about the documentary too. Is
Yeah.
like once it kind of like the 2000s 2010s rolled around and it
Mm,
became sort of not vogue but just like people were more open to people of
mm.
different sexualities. They were like, oh yeah, of course the subtext has always been there, and then like people are like calling him out on it and he's like, no, I've always intended that. That guy's a jerk.
Yeah, I don't really like him. Well, cause he had a quote in the interview. I don't know when he did it. When somebody asked about the gay subtext in that movie, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, really, it's more like homophobic because you wouldn't go straight after seeing that one chick. I can't remember her name. The girl that looks like Meryl Streep, or the actress that looks like Meryl Streep.
She does incredibly kind of look like Meryl Streep in the face, like a young Meryl Streep, but she's
Yeah,
like
especially
redheaded.
back
Yeah.
then.
Mm-hmm.
It's still now too, but yeah, no, it's a really great documentary. It's in my top 5 for sure.
Hmm.
It's pretty good. It's a fun watch,
Yeah, I would
especially if you like the
say
second Elm Street movie.
Yeah, I would say Life Animated is my number one favorite because that's about an autistic kid who was
Mhm.
nonverbal for in his younger life, and
Mhm.
then he's was obsessed with Disney movies, and then
Mhm.
he just started quoting Disney movies, and that's how he learned to talk. Um, and I love that documentary. It's my
Mhm.
inspiration for this other movie I'm working on that I want to do after the Scream movie about a autistic kid or a
Mm.
kid on the spectrum who finds his voice in a movie film club at his school.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that and the Fablemans, because I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm doing the same thing that Spielberg did, where he just throws in like different elements of his life in there.
Mhm.
That one, and then George Lucas versus the People, and then Scream Queen.
Mm. Mm.
Like those are my three documentaries. But again,
It's
that could
pretty
just
good
be
top three.
yeah, that could just be recency bias
Mm.
talking.
That's fair.
Um,
I love documentaries. I haven't watched a lot recently.
Yeah, me
There is
neither.
one that I would say that everyone should check out if you can, and it's like 40 minutes long.
mm,
What's it called? It's The Last Repair Shop. Um,
ooh,
Oh,
and
I
it's
heard that was
about
good. Like the
and it's
instruments for
it's about
schools and
this.
stuff. Yeah.
oh yeah, I
And
heard about that.
it's
Yeah, that's the Oscar nominated one.
Oh,
Yeah.
it won the Oscar. It won the Oscar
Oh,
this
did it
past year,
really?
and on its surface, it's a very sort of like straightforward, just like people repairing, but it's
Mm,
I don't know, really like gets to you by the end of it. Like if you want a good cry, watch that movie, and it's
yeah,
40 minutes, so you'll breeze through it real quick.
yeah. What about you, Jackson? Are there any documentaries that really speak to you that you love?
I'm trying to think right now. I mean, there's a lot of documentaries that I love. I haven't watched any recently that I
Mm,
can really have anything to say about. Lately, I've been watching all these stupid documentaries on YouTube, like amateur made ones about
Mm-hmm.
like I watched a whole 3-part series about the history of the Crash Bandicoot video games.
Oh, okay,
Much more sordid history than you may realize.
interesting. Okay,
Lots of betrayal and
right.
it's
Dude, that
great.
game's hard. Crash Bandicoot would kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
It's
know.
so funny how like old school games are like so simple, but they're like the hardest
Oh, they're
thing
really super hard. Yeah.
imaginable.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and there's like hardly like the saves are like so few and far between, if
Right.
there are
Oh,
saves at
speaking
all.
of that, they're coming out with a Halloween and Evil Dead arcade side scroller game.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so pumped for it.
It looks fun. It looks fun. It looks like an 8-bit sort of like retro slasher, or like
Yeah, that game's
retro
gonna be
like
fucking
hack
awesome.
and slash. Yeah, looks fun.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of documentary, did you ever see that parody one on SNL that Fred Armisen did, where he's like the British punk band in the '70s, and he like talked about like all the regular punk stuff, like like the Police being bad and the Queen being bad, but the joke is that this guy, this punk rock star guy, Ian Rubbis, loves Margaret Thatcher, and he gets
Oh,
Mm,
criticized by his
of
band
course.
and then like the punk community. It's really funny.
mm. I don't remember that skit at all, but I know that Fred Armisen does or did the show. I don't know if they do it anymore. Called
Mm.
Documentary Now.
Documentary now, where, yeah,
It's on
that's a really
IFC,
fun
and
show.
Yeah, but this
it's great. It's a lot of
documentary
good
is like
stuff.
authentic, like rock doc, and I think quite a few of them. So I
No,
know how
that's
big
what
That's
that's
what
what they do with
documentary now
Documentary
is.
Now.
yeah, I would
Is
Each
imagine.
episode is based on a real documentary,
mm-hmm.
but they change it in some way to make it
It's
Yeah.
absurd.
hilarious.
But they copy the visual style and the tone of each of the
Mm-hmm.
documentaries that they parody, really do it perfectly.
Yeah,
Right.
It's him and
yeah,
Bill Hader, and then they get a bunch of people to guest star on episodes.
yeah.
Yeah, but I love this
Some really
part.
good
Spot
episodes.
on.
Yeah, but in this SNL sketch, there's a part where I'm like on this British talk show, and like the host is asking like, "Oh, what do you think about the police? They're a bunch of bullies, aren't they? What about the Queen? She's a big fat old pig. I don't like her." And then and then they ask, and then he asks about Margaret Thatcher, and he's like, and then one of them calls her the C word because that's okay in the UK.
Right.
And then Ian Rubbis, is played by Fred Armisen, is like, "Hey, that's the Prime Minister. Be decent." I love Fred Armisen. He's up there as far as one of my favorite SNL people.
Mm.
I gotta say my number one has to be Kirsten Wiig. Her celebrity impressions crack me up. And her little character with the Target lady, I love.
Yeah.
What are these?
I do love Kristen Wiig. She had a lot of great,
I got
great
these
little moments on
because
SNL.
I do the thing that every woman does once a month. Go to the border of Florida to say that they've seen Florida. Because you know that the customer is buying tampons.
Oh goodness.
God, I love Kirsten Wiig. Bill Hader is up there. John Belushi, of course, is up there.
Sure. SNL goes through like waves of like very talented, like a lot of really talented people who come out and go and do other things, and then it kind of like has a downturn for a while. And like some people who go and do other things, they don't become quite as successful, or it's like some down years, and then it kind of waves back up. I always think it's going away at some point, and then it just always like reimagines itself in some way.
They always find a way.
Going away now. Sorry, you walked in on that one, Eric.
Did I? I don't know. Maybe I did.
Chili Peppers.
I pulled up away though, isn't it? I pulled up some of my favorite documentaries.
Okay.
Oh, what you got?
On Letterboxd. Rolling Stones, Gimme Shelter. That's a really good one. That's from the early 70s. Well, it was filmed in 1969, and it culminates with the Altamont concert where that guy got killed by the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's Albert Maysles.
It's the Maysles brothers that did that. Touching the Void is really good.
Touching the Void's really good. Yeah.
That's about a mountain climbing expedition that goes horribly wrong.
Oh.
And it's a really cool mix of like interviews with the real people and then dramatic reenactments, but they're recreated so well that you really feel like you're on the side of the mountain with these guys, like about to die. Drew, one you would really like is A Band Called Death.
Yes.
Seeing part of it. I felt.
Oh, you saw part of it? Oh, well, you should watch the whole thing.
Yeah, actually, Death is one of the few death metal bands I like. Them.
No. This is not about the death metal band. This is about an early 70s like proto punk band.
Oh.
It was like two brothers and their cousin or something. They're black guys from Detroit. And they sort of were doing punk rock before punk rock was a thing. Like they just came up with it all on their own.
Yeah,
and of course they're from Detroit, so it's the city of like Motown and stuff. And they're like, we're not doing that. We're gonna play this like fast, heavy music. And and they were really good. And then their story is very sad.
They just kind of disappeared. I mean, it's basically though too. It's like Motown was like fast 2-minute songs, and they were just doing the same thing,
but with like heavy guitars. And,
yeah.
They were like,
it's great. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, one of the first death metal band with the band literally called Death, and they had a documentary I think called Death, maybe. I can't remember.
Well, this documentary is A Band Called Death. That's the title.
Okay. Oh, so there's two bands called Death. That's interesting.
Yes. They were the first one called Death. And that's part of the reason that they never got famous is because record labels wanted to sign them and they were like, but you can't be called Death.
You can't call yourself Death, yeah.
And the leader of the band was like, no, that's the name of our band. We're not changing our name. And so they never got a record deal. And then,
that the death metal band called Death. That's one of the few death metal bands that I like. Them, I guess Cruzera is considered death metal or kind of like melodic death metal. And then of course, Deathlock. Pretty awesome.
Deathlock.
I've never seen Metalocalypse, but I love some of their stuff. I love Bat Metal.
It's a pretty funny show.
It's pretty funny.
Have you guys ever seen
they
Bat
sort
Metal?
of like poke fun at it. What's Bat Metal? Is it Batman playing death metal?
Yeah, well, it's like a music video with Batman, and he's bulky, and he has like his bulbs is like so big and it's flapping everywhere through his bat trunks, and it's just him like just doing Batman things, and he's singing like Deathlock lyrics or Deathlock songs. It's like one of the most violent things you'll ever see.
Violent things? Okay.
But it's like cartoony violent. It's like Evil Dead.
Okay. So it's a cartoon. Is it a cartoon?
I won't ruin it for you. But then the second one, they did the song Mermaider, and basically what it is all these aquatic characters like Ariel and SpongeBob who kidnapped Aquaman. And what Batman does to Ariel is like the most brutal thing ever.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
hilarious.
I don't know if I want to watch this
Yeah.
No, it's funny.
Sounds
It's fun. But it's pretty funny. And they did another one. I can't remember the name of the song, but the hook is them the singer going rise, 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 and so what they do is they actually have the subtitles of the lyrics at the bottom of the screen, and then
Mhm.
one of them is rice, and it just shows that eating rice.
Okay,
Gosh.
that's pretty funny.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. There's one part that you would dig, that you two would dig. I knowing a particular horror franchise that we all love. There's one
Okay.
part, and then the third one that you would just absolutely love.
There's 3 of them? I thought this was one video.
No, it's Bat Metal, Bat Metal Returns, and then Bat Metal Forever.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch all 3. I may try the first one and see how it goes.
But yeah, that's pretty funny. I love that shit. And then they did another one in between one of the Bat Metals where it was called Jack Black Mutant Ninja Turtles, where it was Jack Black and then Kyle Gass like pissing like Jack Black Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's like famous directors like Steven Spielberg and Michael Bay and Tarantino, and they just kick him out. And then they said, you know what? I got a better idea. And then just do like the whole classic Ninja Turtle intro with Jack Black and Kyle Gass as Splinter. It's pretty funny.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
My favorite Ninja Turtle parody I've ever heard was from like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was like Greta Gerwig's Little Women, Greta Gerwig's Little Women, heroes in a hoop skirt, girdle power.
I'd watch that movie. I'd watch
I
that
need to watch
TV show.
some Greta Gerwig. I haven't seen hardly any of her stuff except for Barbie.
Well, she's only made 3. Well, she's only directed 3 movies. She's
3
written
movies,
yeah.
Ones that Noah Baumbach has directed, like Mistress America and Frances Ha. Those are really good.
I want to watch Frances Ha. That sounds real interesting.
It's a cool little movie. It's like very low key, very chill.
Very, very like
I did
French
really
new
like
wave.
Mirror Story. Mirror Story was very good.
Mirror Story is good, but
did she have anything to do with? I mean, I know she's with Noah Baumbach.
Well, it's Noah Baumbach, but
well, you're talking about Noah Baumbach.
I don't think they wrote it together, but
she
was in a lot of mumble.
Well, yeah.
She was in a lot of mumblecore movies in like the early mid 2000s, and those are sometimes hit or miss. There's some great ones, but then there are also some ones that are like
mumblecore. That's just like you just say stuff, like you just all improv, I guess.
It's not necessarily they're very improvisational. Yeah. They're hangout movies for like Gen Xers and elder millennials.
Yeah.
You know, just people in their 20s, kind of aimless, all very like handheld, cinema verite
digital
style.
video, very Dogma 95 without like without like all the rules of Dogma 95.
Kind of comedic, but not like
mostly relationship
comedy.
Based. Most of them all are relationship based. There's a few genre ones. I think there's one called Baghead.
I've seen Baghead,
and they're fun.
Like
they're fun. They're fun, like little hangout movies.
Creep is another one. The Duplass brothers made a bunch of them.
Creep is considered mumblecore? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's sort of mumblecore adjacent, just because
I love Creep.
It's on the edges.
Duplass, and it's got that kind of feel to it. Very like low budget,
Oh, speaking of slow paced horror movies, I finally watched In a Violent Nature.
Oh, okay.
And I really liked it.
I like In a Violent Nature. It is something. Too. They stick with their aesthetic and they stick with it till the end, and I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what I was talking about when we were talking about movies from '94. How I love like these kind of punk rock kind of movies that just kind of disregard everything that you know about movies, like
that one doesn't,
and horror things. Like In a Violent Nature is a punk rock movie, like that attitude, not necessarily the aesthetic.
Yeah,
it does some things. it does some things in that movie that I won't go into spoilers in case. I don't know if we can.
We already
whatever.
talked about it on Extreme Horror, but I don't think we went into too much detail.
Yeah,
dude, that yoga girl.
There's a lot.
Was
Yoga Girl is the most heinous kill I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Yoga Girl kills super heinous. The rock to the head bit later on. That's all that top down shot and is moving over him.
I don't remember that.
Rough too. It's all like a single take, and so you can see him crawling away, and then like he drops a rock on that dude's head. And it pops.
Yeah,
and the legs, like the wood chipper, the wood cutters scene. There's so many just like lingering bits, so much that like you have to start questioning it as an audience to go like, do I enjoy this? Is this fun for me?
No, I liked it. It left me in suspense. I know.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
I know, yeah. Well, but it's like, am I sick? Am I twisted for liking this?
Yeah,
well, I'm definitely twisted. I mean, we have a whole spinoff podcast about how twisted we are.
You're right.
Well, I knew from what people were saying that there was a very graphic movie, like the kills were really graphic. So that's what I liked about it, was like it slowly built up to that point.
Oh yeah, most of the movie's just him walking through the woods.
That's what I loved about it.
Yeah,
it was just so excessive. It was hilarious. Like I feel like it's like an unintentional horror comedy for that reason.
Kind of, yeah.
It is, and it isn't. It's a weird mix. Like it wants to take itself very seriously at times, and then other times it's just like, I'm gonna cut this guy's head off, but from just the mouth back, and like let the top fall off.
Yeah, like
and like throw his dead body through a window to open the door. You know what I mean?
And that was honestly one of the better. I mean, it's not like meta, but like kind of making fun of. With the post kind of scream, making fun of like a slasher movie kind of thing.
Sure.
Like that one, and then have you guys ever seen Behind the Mask, the Leslie Vernon story?
I've never actually seen that one. I've heard about it.
It's really good.
I've never actually watched it. Yeah,
the really plot twist is genius.
Don't tell it. Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
I won't say.
We'll talk about. I'll try to watch it and we'll talk.
But the title character is totally giving off Jim Carrey energy.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting character and performance for sure.
Yeah, I love kind of like he's funny like Jim Carrey, and he would say certain stuff like Jim Carrey, and then there would be points where you kind of get into the character's head, and it was very like that the modern Jim Carrey that's like very intellectual and smart.
Yeah,
it's a faux documentary, right? Like Man Bites Dog, like that sort of thing.
Yes. The premise is he is a wannabe slasher, and he's about to go on his first big rampage. And he has contacted a film student to come and make a documentary about him going on his first rampage as a slasher. So it's a very silly premise to start off with, but you get into all this stuff. He has like his Ahab, which is sort of the Dr. Loomis figure. I won't tell you who plays the Dr. Loomis, but it's good. And then he's got like his mentor, who was like a slasher back in the 70s, who's played by Scott Wilson. From like The Walking Dead and stuff.
Yeah.
But isn't in this movie, like in this universe, like all the slasher villains, like Freddy and Michael, like aren't they all real? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, I want to be like Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. It's pretty funny.
They gotta have someone to look up to.
Lumberjack is really good. Lumberjack Man is really funny.
I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of that.
I never heard of it until I watched James Wall's Cinemassacre Monster Madness episode on it. And he got sent a box with what he thought at the time was real newspaper articles about this lumberjack massacre. And he kept getting like all these boxes, like every so often. And he finally figured out that it was actually an independent slasher movie called Lumberjack Man. And it's pretty funny.
Lumberjack Man. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Michael Madsen's in it.
Huh.
And he's sort of like the Sam Loomis character.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a weird casting. Can't picture him being that.
He's pretty funny in the movie. And then
Okay.
they make fun of like gratuitous nudity. Like you got these two like camp counselors spy on this really hot chick, like rubbing like oil on her boobs.
Okay. All right. Okay.
My goodness. Okay.
Yeah, well,
I tell you,
I like that scene. I'm just
I
gonna say
just
that right
watched
now.
the other day. I finally saw Immaculate
Ooh,
I've seen Immaculate.
with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
I gotta say, going into the movie, I was kind of skeptical because I was just like, I don't buy Sydney Sweeney as a nun. You know?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I've seen other Sydney Sweeney movies. I've seen her on Euphoria. I can't picture her as a nun.
Going into the convent. Yeah.
Son of a bitch, she proved me wrong. She was really good in the movie. I totally
She's pretty great.
thought her as a nun.
She's really great in the movie. The movie itself kind of suffers in its like third act. It gets a little too silly, but
I kind of like that it goes there though, because it's such a slow burn up until then. You know,
true.
it kind of needs.
I do. The last shot,
the final shot of the movie is
worth the price of admission.
Whoa.
Alone. Yeah. That's what I was expecting to go when
her performance in that scene is incredible. Like she is really going for it. I knew I liked her, but you know, I mean, she's on Euphoria, she plays like the most like miserable person in the world.
Sure.
And then I've seen her in like, you know, rom-coms and stuff where she's like, she's light and funny, and obviously she's like one of the most gorgeous people in movies today.
Sure.
And you know, she has this very sort of sexy public image and everything. But you know, watching this movie, you know, she's just like this very like sweet girl from Michigan who winds up in this weird convent. She's very sincere about being a nun, and she's really convincing. I was very impressed with her.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds really
I'm excited to see what she does next, now that I know that she's got some real range as an actor.
Yeah. I really want to see Long Legs just for Nicolas Cage alone.
Yeah, Long Legs is wild.
You should watch Long Legs. Long Legs is a fun ride.
As you guys know,
best to watch it loud. Yeah.
We bought a house you know, a few years ago, and the guy like that's coming over and doing renovations, he said he saw it recently, and I asked him, since this movie was being compared to Silence of the Lambs, who is scarier, Buffalo Bill or Long Legs? And without a shadow of a doubt, he's like, Long Legs is scarier.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that
they're
either.
Very
I would
different.
say, yeah.
Well, they're similar in some ways, but yeah.
Put the loot in the basket.
I think Buffalo Bill is a more
Put the fucking loot in the basket.
Realistic and scary villain. I don't know. Like, Long Legs is fun though. It's fun and creepy.
Well,
and it kind of hits all the similar notes, but
like it's also about the way it's shot too. Like the way that Jonathan Demme shoots Buffalo Bill is more naturalistic, whereas the way he shoots Long Legs in this movie is, I mean, not Jonathan Demme, obviously Oz Perkins, but yeah, the way Oz Perkins shoots Long Legs is buck wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff. It's really good. It's worth watching. You should check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
It's out. It's out now. Yeah.
Oh, streaming?
You can watch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can stream it now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, you know, I love Nicolas Cage. He's like generally my favorite actor to hear talk about the art of acting.
I mean, he is really, he is once again like doing such a Nicolas Cage thing in this movie, and yet you can't hardly recognize him. You know, if you didn't know it was him, you might actually wonder who is that actor. You know?
Yeah, and the way that they're marketing him in this movie, it's just impeccable.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Marketing on this movie, the marketing on this movie is amazing.
Yeah, I can't find any.
And it really got people to go see it.
Like I can't.
Right? Yeah. So
you don't want to. You want to wait till you see the movie because the reveal of him is part of the fun of the movie. And I've seen it twice now, and I don't think it loses any of its power on the second viewing, even after you know what to expect from this character. It's still pretty great. But the second time through, and I'm not going to give anything away about the plot. The second time through, you're focused on something totally different going on in the story.
Yeah.
So,
I wanted to see it again just for that.
Yeah.
Just to see what else was there that I might have missed the first
It's a
go
very
around.
different experience the second time through.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm really looking
cool.
forward to it. I'm probably wait till it gets close to Halloween time. I mean, I'm starting to listen to my Halloween playlist on Spotify.
It's the spooky season. Anytime after the 4th of July, it becomes Halloween for me.
Yeah, well, Red Right Hand by Nick Cave is always that's like year round for me.
He's apparently got a new album out, and it's supposed to be really good. I haven't heard it.
Oh, cool.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I love Nick. I love that song so much. That song's so good. That whole album, I was listening to it on my way to St. Louis. That whole album has a real good like October.
Is that
spooky
on
vibe.
Let Love In?
Yeah, it has Loverman on it.
Okay,
that
yeah.
Metallica covered. There's a devil waiting outside my door. I got, and this might be biased, but I gotta say, I think every Metallica cover that I've heard is better than the original, in my opinion. But this might be biased because I'm a
Okay.
huge Metallica fan.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, it's funny, Judas Priest and I got the shirt on. They covered Green Man Lacey by Fleetwood Mac. And the original.
That's an interesting thing for them to cover. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I like it because like the original and then the Priest version is very menacing, but for different reasons. Like the Fleetwood one is very kind of like trippy and like you see someone dropped acid. But the Priest one is more aggressive and in your face.
Okay.
But it's Judas Priest.
Yeah, of course.
And they're awesome.
All of it's in your face. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they also did a Joan Baez song, Diamonds and Rust.
Huh.
Yeah,
you got a real
awesome.
eclectic taste, that Judas Priest.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, their version at their 50th anniversary concert is amazing because it starts out like acoustically, and then you guys already know, like Rob Halford, it's freaking beast singer, and his voice is soared during that version. It's amazing.
That's great. I'm sure they're wonderful live. I do enjoy seeing bands live more than
I've already been on this episode, Eric, and Drew,
it just keeps going.
Described the entire concert. Last time we had a ramble on.
Sad I missed it.
The only thing I did not like about it was they do this thing before they play Breaking the Law where Halford goes, "Breaking the what?" And he gets the audience to say law. Breaking the what? Get the audience to say law. He says, "Let's break that law right now."
What? You're saying there was goofy stage banter at a metal show?
No, they didn't do that. He didn't do that.
Oh, okay. You didn't like that they didn't do it.
Yeah, like you probably did it every concert, Rob.
Okay. I thought you were saying they did do that and you didn't like it.
No, I love when you said that. That's classic Judas Priest.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah, and then before because I think like every concert really, like there's always like that hype at the beginning for a few songs, and then it kind of slows down a little bit, with happened here. But when they went into my favorite song, "Victim of Chains," and then you started doing that Freddie Mercury sing, when he sings something, and then he let the audience, sing it back because he's a big Freddie Mercury fan. And then he gets into Green Man Lacey. Like every song after that was a banger. Like I was like, I just went crazy right after that. Cause he went into like Painkiller, and then did a 3-song encore with, like, they came out for that encore within a minute. Cause usually you gotta wait a little bit. You gotta wait a couple of minutes for an encore.
Sure, you want everyone to get hyped. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you hear the beginning of the Hellion going to Electric Eye, and then one of the parts I was waiting for, that motorcycle part, man. Hellbent for Leather, and you just hear me on my mom's recording yelling, "Hellbent for Leather!"
Gosh.
She'll have to show me that.
Yeah.
I will say, I will ramble off. I gotta get off here soon, but I will ramble off a few other movies that I've seen recently because I went on like a tear. I was off work a few days, and so I'll ramble off some of these movies. If y'all seen any of them, we can talk about them real quick. I watched a movie called She Is Conan by like
Never
the
heard of
French
it.
director of The Wild Boys. It's great. You should watch it.
Okay.
I saw The TV Glow. Another great movie. By the same director, Jane.
I've heard about that. That sounds really interesting.
It's good. It's really good. It's got one of probably
Okay.
the most like funny and also maybe depressing endings I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's great. I watched Challengers, which was fun up until the end. It's mainly because I don't know how tennis is played. So they were like,
Yeah,
points,
tennis
and
doesn't make
like,
sense to me.
I was just like, what is it? Is he winning? What's happening? I watched Love Lies Bleeding, which is really good. But there's
I
a
wanted
big
to see
swing.
that, and I did not get to see it.
It's good. You should watch it. There's a big swing in like the third act, and I won't say anything else. But
I love a big swing. And I liked. What was that? Rose Glass. I liked her first movie, Saint Maud.
Yeah, Saint Maud.
That was good.
This one is a little more noirish than that one, which is a little more straightforward horror.
Right.
But it's good. It's great. Ed Harris is,
I'm a big
equally
Kristen Stewart
creepy.
fan. I think she's great.
Yeah.
The
Ed Harris and
the other lady too.
Yeah, I don't know her from anything.
You should watch Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's great. What else I watched? Oh, I watched The People's Joker, which is it's not a great movie. It's kind of all over the place, a little messy.
Is that the one that's kind of like
a
parody?
Yeah,
it was like
almost didn't get
crowdfunded
released
or something like that.
Yeah, it got sued by it got 2 years ago. It got sued by WB because it was like using characters without their permission, and like he didn't think it was going to be released, and it finally got released this year. It's pretty great. Like its aesthetic is wild. It's all over the place, but like it's fun. And I watched Twisters.
Twisters is fun.
Twisters is a lot of fun. Yeah.
I've still not seen the original Twister from beginning to end.
Really? I saw it in theaters in '96. So
yeah, because you're 90.
That's how old I am.
Well, the thing is you can watch Twisters and you don't have to see the original.
Yeah.
It's
not going to make any difference.
You watched Jurassic Park when it first opened. I hate you for that.
I know.
I'm so angry about people that seen that movie when it first came out.
I was like 8. I was probably of age to maybe see that at the time. And I loved dinosaurs around that time.
Yeah, you saw it. You told me you saw it.
Yeah, but you've seen that. You've seen Jurassic Park in theaters since then. It's the same experience.
Well, motherfucker, I saw it in 3D and I saw it with a live orchestra.
I did see it in 3D, but I haven't seen it with live orchestra.
Oh, hey, dude.
So
did you hear
you've
that?
You've seen it better than me.
Did you hear that UC's doing Ghostbusters with a live orchestra?
Oh, are they? That's cool.
Dude, let's go see it. We gotta go see it.
When is it? Is it coming up?
Beginning of next year sometime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll figure out the dates.
Yeah, what was funny was it's not the Robinson Center, right? What's the center at UC? Would that do all the events?
It's not Ida Waldron. I don't remember.
Yeah, but we had an employee that ran a lot of that stuff, a lot of those events. And then she told me that they're about to announce their new season, and one of them was like a big pop culture movie that they're doing an orchestra with. And my mind was just running. I'm like, okay, Evil Dead. And he said it was a franchise that's still going on. And then they announced it, Ghostbusters. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm going to see that.
They did do, I think last year or earlier this year, they did Batman '89 with a live orchestra, which sounded fun. But I didn't go, obviously.
Oh, hell. New king in town.
See, I don't think they did the Prince songs, which is probably like if they had a live band there to do Prince songs along with it, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
Get Donald Glover.
I think it was just the score.
Yeah, just get the child Gambino to do it.
He's not gonna come to Conway, Arkansas to
do
if they ever make 1989 Batman.
If they ever make a Prince biopic, that's who you get. You get the Childish Gambino.
I can't argue with that. I probably say that's okay.
Yeah,
he's a little too stocky for that for a Prince.
Yeah.
Prince is like a tiny little man.
It doesn't matter.
Tiny little man you fit in your pocket.
It doesn't matter. He would kill that shit. But anyway, guys, I guess we'll close out this video for this episode. We don't have anything else to talk about.
No.
Don't.
All right. So as always, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more spooky and weird content, make sure you slap that subscribe button and head over to Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond at Facebook and Twitter. We also post episodes on Spotify under the same name. And if you like this video, make sure you thumbs it up and you give it a killer comment. And as always, guys, this has been Drew from Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond. Over and out. Bye. And stay weird.